Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Luigi Davanzo.
Thank you, Mr. Davanzo. Mr. Davanzo, you're here on a Superior Court direct complaint arrest warrant and on a Peoria Municipal Court warrant as well. So in your Superior Court case, this is for a charge of burglary in the second degree, a Class 3 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have status conference October 14th, 8:31 a.m., preliminary hearing October 17th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Davanzo, I am affirming the bond amount of $750. However, it is my understanding you are currently in DOC custody, so this is just a placeholder bond. Even if you were to pay it, you would not be released. So in other words, don't pay it at this time.
Yeah.
Then regarding your Peoria warrant, this is for 2 separate counts of DUI. I have appointed you an attorney for limited representation regarding the bond issue only. You have an arraignment hearing at the Peoria Municipal Courthouse, October 10th, 9 a.m. Bonds also in the amount of $750. Again, don't pay that, though, at this time. Mr. Davanzo, do you have any questions?
Where's all this coming from? I've been in DOC since 2015.
So this burglary charge dates back to 2015, okay. August 10th of 2015. So it's just it appears to be an old warrant.
You guys don't feel like it's just overdue? It's overkill? Like, I've been in prison for almost 10.5 years. I've been in prison since I was 18. I'm about to be 28.
Well, so Mr. Davanzo, the direct complaint on this case was filed in 2018. For whatever reason, that wasn't put into the system or something like that. That's why it's not coming up until now.
Yeah, but that's not fair, though, when I'm about to get done with a decade bid.
Well, so Mr. Davanzo, the fact that you've served this time during all of this time will be taken into consideration, so you can speak with your attorney about that. What is your projected release date?
March.
March, okay. Right, so there is a realistic possibility that this can all be resolved before your release date.
All right.
Okay, same with the other case, too. Let's see, this one, actually it's not even telling me when the original dates were, but it probably dates back to a similar time period.
Yeah, and isn't the statute of limitations up on these?
Well, it's not, because the statute of limitations is that the state or whoever's filing the lawsuit against you or pressing charges has to do that within a certain amount of time. That was done within the required amount of time, but because you were in DOC custody, they weren't able to determine where you were. It would seem like there would be more interdepartment communication. Unfortunately, it doesn't work as well as we wish it did. People are working on that, and so that's what's happened in this case.
So am I going to go back to DOC right now?
No, you're going to remain in custody here in Maricopa County under the sheriff's office.
For this whole process?
Yeah, until these are resolved, correct. Which I don't know how long it's going to take for these to be resolved. I can't tell you.
Like what? Why stay here for the judicial process, though, which is like this initial appearance, the settlement conference, all that? So I'll be here for what, maybe 4 months, 6 months?
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that of how long it's going to take.
Can you estimate it for me?
I can't, Mr. Davanzo. I mean, it really decides the prosecutors, these are old charges. Are they still wishing to pursue these charges? Is it possible to enter into a quick plea deal for time served? I don't know. That's going to be a discussion you're going to need to have with your attorney, and that your attorney is going to need to have with the prosecutors.
But I will be staying in
the custody of the sheriff's office at this time.
Until when?
I've already explained to you, Mr. Davanzo, I don't have an answer for until when.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Tyler Burt.
Thank you, Mr. Burt. Mr. Burt, you are here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations, 1 count of possession, use of dangerous drugs, and 1 count of aggravated DUI because your license was previously suspended or revoked for a DUI. Those are both Class 4 felonies. 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. 1 count of driving with your license suspended, revoked, or canceled, a Class 1 misdemeanor. 1 count of DUI, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of knowingly displaying a false license plate. That's also a Class 1 misdemeanor. Mr. Burt, I've appointed you an attorney. Your case will be heard at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. You have a status conference October 14th, at 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing October 17th, 8:31 a.m. Giselle, the evidentiary hearing's not showing on this. Let me see if oh, it is now. All right, so Mr. Burt, you were on felony release at the time you were arrested on these new felonies.
Mm-hmm.
By law in Arizona, that means you are non-bondable at this time.
Yeah.
So you will have an evidentiary hearing October 15th at 1:30 p.m. The judge at that time will determine whether you are bondable and what your bond and release conditions will be. Mr. Burt, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bill Williams and then Douglas Zelaya will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Billy Williams, 11.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, you are here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegation of one count of aggravated assault involving serious physical injury. That is a Class 3 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference October 14th, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing October 17th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Williams, I am setting bond the amount of $100,000. That is a secured appearance bond. That means you can pay that amount directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. 10% of $100,000 would be $10,000. If you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You'll have an ankle monitor installed and you must comply with supervision. You also must comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're also not to possess any weapons. Mr. Williams, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Douglas Zelaya and then Omar Harris will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Douglas Zelaya.
Thank you, Mr. Zelaya. Mr. Zelaya, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations. One count of theft of means of transportation, a Class 3 felony. One count of unlawful flight from law enforcement in a vehicle, a Class 5 felony. One count of resisting arrest, risking physical injury, a Class 6 felony. One count of reckless driving, a Class 1 misdemeanor. One count of failure to obey a police officer, a Class 2 misdemeanor. One count of exceeding the posted speed limit by over 20 miles per hour, a Class 3 misdemeanor. Mr. Zelaya, I have appointed you an attorney, and your case will be heard at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. You have a status conference October 14th, 8:31 a.m., preliminary hearing October 17th, 8:31 a.m. I have set bond in the amount of $25,000. That is a secured appearance bond, meaning you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. 10% of $25,000 would be $2,500. If you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You'll also have an ankle monitor installed, and you must comply with pretrial services supervision and with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you are not to possess any weapons, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Mr. Zelaya, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Zelaya. Omar Harris and then Therese Howard will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Omar Harris.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Ms. Harris, would you please remove your hat? Thank you. All right, Mr. Harris, you're here on 2 Superior Court probation violation warrants. These are for alleged violations of terms 3 and 5. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing October 15th, 8:30 a.m. That's at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I am affirming the bond in each of the warrants. It's $1,000 in one, $500 in the other. Total bond is $1,500. That is a secured appearance bond. That means you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. 10% of $1,500 would be $150. If you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates, and you're promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to possess any weapons, you are not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Mr. Harris, do you have any questions? Thank you, Mr. Harris. Good luck to you. Therese Stewart and then Priscilla Skidmore will be on deck. Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Therese Stewart.
Thank you, Ms. Stewart. Ms. Stewart, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant. Ms. Stewart, you're currently in DOC custody, is that correct?
I just got released today.
You just got released today. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then that changes things. Let's see. This was issued September 6, 2024. How long were you in DOC custody, ma'am?
Since February 29th, 2024.
Okay. So, and that's why you were not in contact with probation, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, if I release you, will you get back in contact with probation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do that then.
Okay.
You released today, is that correct?
Yep.
And you don't have any other holds, is that right?
Anywho?
Any other holds?
No.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it looks like you were even in contact up through February, so, okay. All right. All right, so, Ms. Stewart, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You will leave here then. It should be about 4 hours to 6 hours from now.
Okay.
Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on the 15th and promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol. You must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Ms. Stewart, it'll probably be the same officer, but there's a chance it won't be. Sometimes, you know, you're assigned a new one, someone retires or something like that. So if for any reason you don't have your officer's phone number or you can't get a hold of your officer, make sure to go down to a probation office and get checked in and everything taken care of that way
Okay.
within 72 hours.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Stewart, do you have any questions for me?
No, sir, that's it.
All right. Well, congratulations on your release. Good luck to you, Ms. Stewart.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Priscilla Skidmore and then Luigi Davanzo will be on deck. Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Priscilla Skidmore, T.
Thank you, Ms. Skidmore. Ms. Skidmore, you are here on a Superior Court two probation violation warrants for alleged violations of terms 3 and 5. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing October 15th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Ms. Skidmore, I am setting bond the amount of $500 in each of these cases. Total bond is $1,000. It is secured appearance, which means you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral, so that would be $100. If you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you are not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Ms. Skidmore, do you have any questions?
What day is it again? The court?
October 15th is court.
October 15th?
Yes, today's the 8th, so it's 7 days from now.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Skidmore. Good luck to you.